So we're talking about developing power in the junior golfer today. And one of the first things that we need to understand is what power is. Power is a display of force, and it's a display of exerting as much force as you can against an object as fast as possible. The next thing we need to understand is why do we want more power in the first place? Well, we want more power because in the golf swing, a player can go from 0 to over 120 miles an hour in the blink of an eye. And golf is, in fact, a power sport. It's not an endurance sport. That being said, we can look at your power output like having a gallon jug of water. If we don't have a lot of power output, our gallon jug is not very full. If we've got a lot of power output, our gallon is full of water. And every swing we take, we're taking a sip out of that gallon jug. The more water we have in the jug, the longer we can ultimately last throughout the course of a season or the course of a round. And that can also lead to a lot of injury prevention because each swing is taking less out of us. To start with today, we're going to talk about med ball variations and why we like to use them. We love using medicine ball work because it's a heavier object than the golf club, and that forces a proper athletic sequence of motion because it's a lot harder to get your hands out in front of you. So that's going to allow a player to learn to develop power through the ground and let it transfer through their body, through the hips, through the torso, through the arms, and into the fingertips. We'd like to start with things like rotational med ball throws, what we call scoop throws, and Ironman throws, which are a little bit more upper body driven. The scoop throws more closely mimic the golf swing than the Ironman throws do, but the Ironman throws are awesome. They're a lot of fun. The kids love them. Up next, we have dumbbell Olympic variations and why we like to use them so much. We like using the dumbbell variations because they're safe, they're easy to learn, they don't require a whole lot of equipment, and they're also really easy to teach. To begin with, we start with dumbbell jumps. Dumbbell jumps are as simple as they sound. You're simply holding dumbbells, jumping in place. Our athletes learn to control their knees when they land, and they learn to control the angle of their torso and not lean forward, what we call flexion in these jumps. It's a great way to learn to produce force and a great way to learn how to absorb force, which is just as important when it comes to injury prevention. Up next, we have dumbbell snatches. Dumbbell snatches are a great precursor to the actual snatch, which is a whole lot more technical, but it also requires a whole lot more power output. It's a fantastic way for higher caliber athletes to develop power, especially in their golf swing. Finally, we have dumbbell jerks. Dumbbell jerks are a great way to learn to develop explosive power in a vertical sense. As we talked about before, in court sports and in other sports, when we're talking about athletic development for a junior, it's important that they're not only playing golf. Golf is a very one-sided sport. So if they're playing other sports growing up until they start to specialize, the more the better. That vertical force is what allows us to become faster on the court, faster on the turf, faster on the field. The dumbbell jerks are also great for controlling the core and for controlling the shoulder because we need to receive the weight overhead, bring it down in a safe manner. One of the great things about medicine ball work and about the dumbbell Olympic variations is that it makes it really easy for us to work all angles upstream and downstream in the force velocity curve. On one end, we've got low load, high velocity, and on the other end, we've got high load, low velocity. And right in the middle is where we find power. Golf is a power sport, and the more closely we work low load, high velocity, high load, low velocity, the easier it is for us to bring a fast, but not necessarily strong athlete towards power, and the easier it is for us to bring a strong, but not necessarily fast athlete towards power. For more details or information on how to do these specific exercises at home, check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel, Par 4 Success. That's P-A-R, the number 4, Success.